Okay. Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you are fine. And this is our fifth lecture of this course, that is technical writing. And today we'll just try to differentiate between formal and informal report. We have discussed and studied in the previous lectures what is report and what is meant by report writing. So today we'll just try to differentiate between formal and informal report. So before differentiating between formal and informal report, I'll just try to focus upon the issue of formality. You people are aware of the notion which is formality. Formality means to which extent we keep something formal, to which extent we keep in the minds of the elements of formality. Formality means to keep something serious. Formality means to keep something proper, appropriate, according to its requirement and needs. And if we just apply that same notion on the element of report, so report is that kind of written material, that kind of written text which we produce, which we share to any authority after performing any kind of analysis, after conducting any kind of research, after conducting any kind of survey, after conducting any kind of analysis, we produce our report and we share how things have been doing, how things have been going in the recent past. So, if we just try to create the difference, or if you just try to establish the difference between formality and informality, or formal or informal report, the fun element there would be that is the language of the report. So you people have to write down the first element, that is language. If the language, if the lexical item, if the structure will be formal, it will lead us to make a formal report. You people have to be very attentive while listening to this lecture, because the whole lecture will depend upon your listening skill. We are not using any kind of material right now, so you have to listen very attentively and follow the instructions. So the first element which you have to write down, that is language. If the language is formal, the report will be automatically considered a formal report. I've already elaborated what is meant by report, and I have differentiated and elaborated the elements of formality. So the next element is style. Okay, let me just define the element of style. So styles will particularly define style here with relation to the written language. So style means to present something. If we just take the example from our daily life, so style means how a person, how an individual presents him or herself to the society. So in the same way, style of the written language will be related to how we present our written text to the society, to our concerned audience. So style means the overall layout of our report. Layout will lead us to Layout will help to decide whether our report is formal or informal, whether the style is formal or informal. So I just discussed two elements. First one is language of the report, and second one is style of the report. And in the style of the report, you will find out the layout, whether the text of the report is particularly organized or not. Does that report follow any particular or prescribed style? If that is if that report is following any prescribed style, our report will be considered a formal report. If that report is not following any formal style, will not consider our report a formal report. So I just mentioned two elements. First one is language and second one is style. In style, there will be the element of layout. You people must be aware of the notion of the layout. Third element is length of the report. Usually in our systems, formal report tends to be longer than the shorter report. So if report is exceeding 10 pages or more, our report will be considered a formal report. And if that is less than 10 pages, usually 1, 2 or 3 pages, that will be an informal report. So till now we have read three elements. First one is language, second one is style, and third one is length of the report. Length will help us to decide whether report is formal or informal. We'll be able to decide or we'll be able to identify report on the basis of its style and language. Okay, so the next element which we can focus to identify the formality or informality, that is its elements. We have already discussed and elaborated in the previous lectures that which are the particular elements, which are the sections which are followed while creating, while developing any kind of report. So I'll just try to mention the sections and elements of informal report first, and then I'll shift towards the sections or elements of the formal report. If you can consult your book, you have to move to the page number 318 if you have the same edition which one I have. That is exhibit 5, parts of formal report. Formal report includes two kinds of sections. Writer has differentiated these sections into two parts. First one is basic parts of a report, and second one is subsidiary part of report. Subsidiary means extra and additional parts of the report. So if you just consult these two columns, so those parts which are basic parts of reports, those are and those should be present in the informal report. Informal report must contain an executive summary. You know very well what is meant by executive summary. Executive summary means an abstract which just give the whole summary of the report. How, what, why something is being done. If you just exemplify that thing, we mean what is the report? Okay, let's talk about the political scenario. Government or the higher authorities ask the concerned person to conduct the report with relation to that sugar mafia. So they conducted the report. If that will be presented in an informal format, they will present, first of all, there will be an executive summary. Summary means that will consist upon a paragraph, only one paragraph, whether that is a business report, whether that is any kind of economical, financial, or institutional report. Abstract or executive summary will consist upon only one paragraph, and that paragraph will give the whole story. Why we have to conduct that report, what was the need of that report, and what are the results and how we conducted the report. Got that? So in an informal report, the first element will be, first section, first portion will be executive summary. Second one is introduction. Here we introduce our report. Why we felt the need to conduct the report. Why there was the need to conduct the report. So in the introduction, we'll also, if we talk about educational report, that educational report, we can relate thesis here. We can relate and we can relate a research paper here. So we introduce our research questions here. What was the previous methodologies? Why the research has been done in the previous sections? So in that way, we introduce our research. We elaborate in the executive summary or abstract. We just provide a summary in a shorter form, but we just try to establish and expand those points in the introduction. as the words, as the titles of these sections guide us what is meant by these sections. So in summary, we just provide summary. In introduction, we try to introduce our report, and third one is discussion. But if we just try to step away from this book, we can find that if we just relate educational research here, we do review, we do consult previous reports, whether that is research report, whether that is financial or anything else. We just try to find out how in the previous time how those people conducted the report. What were the tools they used to conduct the report, how they analyzed and how they extracted the results. And after that, we just try to move towards discussion. In that, we try to discuss the answers which we have referred, which we have mentioned in the introduction section, and we'll also mention those questions after the literature review. And we have to find out the answers of those questions at the end of the analysis. By finding out the data, we'll try to analyze the data and find out the answers. Then we'll try to discuss the answers, and will lead to few recommendations on the basis of the analysis and results of those questions. So let me just explain, let me just mention all those sections of an informal report. Please write down these sections of an informal report. First one is executive summary. We provide summary there. Next one is introduction. We try to introduce our report on the basis of the needs, on the basis of the such questions. Then we include section of review, literature review. We consult previous studies in the research report. Next one is results and discussion. And the last but not the least section is recommendation. We try to create recommendations on the basis of our analysis and answers. I hope you got that point. Okay, these were the sections of informal report. Now we'll just move towards the formal report. As we have already discussed, I have elaborated formality will vary on the basis of length. That will be one element. Okay, so when we just expand the length of the report, there will also be cover. That cover will contain the title of the report. That cover will contain the name of the writer. That cover will contain the name of the recipient to whom that report has been submitted, to whom that report is going to be submitted, and your affiliation, what is your rank, and the rank of the authority to whom you are going to submit the report. So got that? What is the purpose of cover? Then the next element is title page. Okay? In the same way, you will just you will just repeat all those elements on the title page. And then that is table of content. If the length of the report will be exceeding 10 pages or more, you have to include table of content. You can see the example on the beginning of the book. Whenever that book, which is 200 or 300 pages, you see a table there, that is table of content. You see page number, chapter title, that serial number. In the same way that is presented in the beginning of the report, we see what is the page number, what is the serial number, and what is the title, and what sections are being reported in each paragraph or in each chapter, sorry. So if you just have created further section in each chapter, those are also given very clearly there. Chapter number 1, section 1. If you have few branches or few subsections of first section, then there will be 1.1, 1.1.1. In the same way 1.2, 1.2.1. I hope you got the point. If you have not understood, you will just refer me, you will just consult me. I'll try and provide you the examples. Okay, after table of contents, usually there is table of figures. Table of In the table of figures, in the table of images, table of graphs, we try to refer each table. Where is that table, on which page number? Where is that graph, on which page number? Where is that image or picture, on which graph number? So that with their title, with their serial number, with their page number, learner or the reader, it will be helpful for the learner, it will be helpful for the reader to find out exactly the place where that is located. And then there will be bibliography at the end of the report. After table of content, there will be executive summary, all those sections which are found in the informal report. Executive summary, introduction, discussion, recommendation, and then there will be bibliography. Bibliography means references. While consulting the literature reviewer, you might have the need to define something, and while defining something, you cannot produce your own definition, because if you just try to define something on your own way, there might be bias. That might be your personal definition. So we have to consult any theorist, we have to consult any researcher, we have to consult any previous study to define something, such as the element of, there might be anything. I'm just not sure to whether I should give example from your particular field or any other. Let's just define economy. Let's just define health. Let's just define virus. So we have to refer some particular researcher from the field in that way. So we'll just inshallah discuss these sections in the later half of this course, when we'll be just deciding or discussing the in-text citation. Then I'll just tell you or guide you how to cite. Cite means refer, hawala dena. How to cite something in text and how to provide the reference of that text at the end of the study. And then there will be appendix, that thing which is causing trouble. If we have to include in the report, we'll just try to append at the end of the report, and then there will be a glossary. Technical terms will be presented in the glossary. So we just tried to create the difference between formal and informal report today, and I have okay, let me just summarize the whole thing today. I just try to mention those elements on the basis of which we can elaborate or we can create difference between formal and informal report. That was length, that was language, that was style, that was layout. And then I refer to all those sections of formal and informal report. I'll just refer the sections of informal report first. That will be executive summary, abstract, introduction, review, questions, results, discussion, recommendation. And if we talk about the formal report, on the basis of size, there will be cover, title page, table of content, then executive summary, introduction, review, results. We have to also include the analysis here, then recommendation, then table of content, appendix, and table of content name. There will be references, appendix, and glossary. I hope you have got all the material today. If you have any kind of question, you can consult me. Thank you.